So I made some progress on the flag. It's not easy because these are very, very small, and the only brush I've got that was of any potential use was a 40 Winsor & Newton from the Cotman range, Cotman 111 round. But I mean any quadruple zero or even 5 zeros, they're, you know, very fine point on them, but you're going to need something like that, and it's a very intricate job. There might be a bit of touching up I have to do, but I really don't want to make it worse than it is. I'd rather make it a bit better than it is, rather than the opposite effect. You can always overdo these things, you know, particularly at this size, which is pretty small. So that wasn't the most difficult of jobs, but it certainly was by far not the easiest either. Basically, you just put 5 dots of red paint on the skull and crossbones there. And I'll let you into a secret here. This is the best one I did, so that's why I'm showing it. Actually, no, most of them have come out quite alright. It isn't an easy job. You've got to be very careful with it. And the next bad news is I've got to do it on all the helmets of the troopers as well. Let me just swap one out here. So, yeah, they've all got a... I need to get some more light on him, I think. But, yeah, they've actually got it on the helmets as well, so that's got to be done in silver. We shall see. Come on, I'm not a museum painter, am I? But, you know, we'll get there. Okay, so I've just finished doing the black straps on the saddle blanket and blue line around the saddle cloth. I used this one, which is just a cheap craft paint from one of our highly salubrious supermarkets that we have in the United Kingdom called Lidl, which are one of the top end supermarkets, right up there with Harrods, of course, for those of you who don't know that. But there you go. So basically what I've got to do is now the bit, the fleecy bit on the front of the saddle and the handles of the guns, and then that's the horses done, which will be quite nice to get them completed and out of the way, so I shall do that. So that's the horses done. I added another black band over the fleece at the front. That was done in Iraqi sand, and they've all got a bit between the teeth. This is the grey one, obviously. These basically just been painted white and then a black wash applied, and the black wash applied a couple of extra times on the mane and the tail just to make that a bit darker. Quite easy to do, really. Looks quite nice though. And as always, I've done the bridle work and tracery in mahogany brown for a white horse, grey white horse. And yeah, I like the blue round the saddle cloth. So that's the horses done. So the standard bearer, I've just got to do a bit of dry brushing on the pennant, the little shield in the middle of this one. Do the crown in gold. I've done the skull and crossbones on all of their hats in silver, I've got to do a bit of work on the belts that they've got, and all the scabbards should be done in black as well. I could have done those earlier, but I'll do them now. And the epaulets will be silver, so not far to go now on these. Oh, I have got to do, they've all got these little like sergeant stripe design on the coats, and also there's lines down the middle of the back, which, as I'm just using a base red, I can always go over the bits that I muck up, because they're going to be, excuse me, they're going to be in white, the lines down the back, and it's always a nice effect to do that. So that's him, he's nearly done, and we've got to do the stirrups. So not far off now, not far off at all. Well, these are all the bits that I dread doing the really fine detail. So the white stripe, bendy stripe down the back, and these chevrons here. Some come out better than others, obviously, just depends how steady your hand is, and you need a very good point on your brush. And my god, they're fiddly, they really are. But the thing is, if you go too wide on the stripes on the back, if you're a bit too heavy handed, you can always rectify that by putting more red over it, which is what I intend to do on some of these anyway, because I've made a bit of a pig's ear of some of them. But the thing is, with this sort of detail, although it's fiddly, it really does look good when it's done. So no pain, no gain, and there is some pain and a little bit of gain, but you know, I was expecting that. I'll just put another one up. It's the trumpeter. It's coming along. I just need to do the bugle, and he's just about done. I've just gone over him with white, because he was basically just covered in primer until a few minutes ago. So yeah, he's looking quite nice. And let me just find one here. So this one, for example, I've been a bit heavy-handed there, but I will just have to be very careful and cover up most of that with red. It's not easy. I'm not pretending it's easy. Some of you probably got steadier hands than me, but for your average painter, it is not an easy little job. Okay, so I'll just carry on with the rest of them. It's the final countdown. So I've done the spurs and the stirrups. Just going to go over any little rough bits on there with black, which is a very forgiving colour. You can go over anything you like with black, which is quite nice. It's another go-to colour, like white, where you can more or less go over everything as well. Although you might need a couple of coats of white, but that's another story. So yeah, just got to check each one of these out, make sure I've not made too many cock-ups, and then I can stick them on the horses. So I just finished the spurs and the stirrups this morning. Quite often I don't do these because at this scale it's frequently not worth it, but the final bits that I did, I put some brass gold buckles on there, and I need to just touch that one up a little bit actually. There you go. It's one of the joys of having a camera. And gold buttons at the back. I've only gotten one button on him, so I shall take him away because he's making me look bad. So this one, let's start again. So yeah, little gold buttons on the back there. Chevrons done. I went round all of them just to tidy up these white little pleats on the back. So they look much better now. So there you go, that's the Horseman done. Quite a few of these have got gorgets like this one, so I'm not going to do them on all of them because that would make far too many officers, which is a fault with this set. So it would just look silly if 5 figures were officers when you could get away with 1 or 2. So I'll leave it at that. Okay, let me just show you the guy with the standard. So you might just be able to make out the gold lettering on there, if it catches the light. True artists know all about light and shade. I must know some, because it ain't me. So yeah, he's a nice figure. And he's got a gorget. So yeah, you can see on the stirrup there I've got to go over a bit in black, but this shall all be tidied up with a very steady hand. Then I shall put them on the horses and start basing them, and that will be it. Bob's your uncle and Fanny's your aunt. Okay, that's it for this little particular segment before I get far too carried away. Okay.